guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a labor and delivery vlog. Everyone's new here. It's my first video, so I'm just gonna do really quickly a little get to know me. My name's Paula. I'm 20 years old. I have a 2-month-old beautiful baby girl. Her name is Luna. If you have me on Instagram, you already know that. Everyone make sure to follow me on Instagram. Before I start anything, follow me on Instagram. Excuse my appearance, we're in quarantine right now. I'm pretty sure everyone is looking like this, and that's it. I'm not gonna get too much into that because I plan on doing a Q&A video. So I'll just get started. I have a few clips too that I'll kind of insert throughout the video, maybe I'll just throw it all in at the end. Let's get started. So it was February 4th. I was 39 weeks and 5 days pregnant. If you have me on Instagram, I was over it. I was done. My back was hurting. I had this thing, sciatica. It's common in pregnant women. She was sitting on the nerves of my back, making it like super uncomfortable. So after like 30 weeks, I was done. I was like, she needs to get out. So at this point, I was 39 weeks, 5 days. Everything hurt. My feet hurt, my back hurt. I was still working full time because I just can't stay home. That's not me. So I was at work. I had just gotten back from a GYN appointment and I just went straight to work after. And so that was the second time my doctor had stripped my membranes. He stripped my membranes, which is basically just with his fingers inserted up there, sweep around, basically helping me go into labor because he could tell that I was over it. So he's like, I'm just gonna try to help you out and sweep your membranes. Usually most women go into labor after this. The first time I didn't go into labor. The second time I still didn't go into labor, but I ended up being induced. So I started bleeding. So I'm like, oh my God, it worked this time. Like the membrane thingy, you know, he knows what he's doing. It works. I'm about to have this baby right now. But I'm one of those people that I don't like to go to the hospital unless I'm sure, because I don't want to be annoying. I know that's their job. It's not annoying, but I feel annoying. So I was like, no, I'm gonna wait it out. And everybody's like, can you go home? And all my coworkers are like, can you go home? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And they're like, you need to go home like right now. And I'm like, no. My mom, I called her and I let her know, and she's like, you need to come home with me. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'll stay, I'll wait it out. If I get contractions, then I'll leave, because I don't want to go home. I'm not gonna go to the hospital yet, so there's no reason in me leaving. So I waited out my full shift. I finished at 7. So at 7, at this point, I'm still bleeding. I knew it was kind of like a lot of blood, TMI, but it was. So at this point, I called my GYN and I just let him know. I'm like, I don't know what I should do. I had already had like one scare that I thought I was in. I thought my water had broke. It didn't. It was this other thing that was going on. It's called fasting. If you're pregnant, you probably know what that is. That's what was happening to me, but I thought my water had broke. So I had went to the hospital. And they actually also thought my water had broke when I got there, and then they're like, never mind, you're fine. We can't tell if it broke or not, so just go home. And I'm like, okay. So I called my GYN. I'm like, I don't want to have another scare and go and get sent home. At this point also, I'm already 2 centimeters dilated. I was 2 centimeters dilated for like a week before I went into labor. He's like, yeah, it's fine. He told me earlier, like, I'm gonna strip your membrane and then you're probably gonna go into labor tonight or tomorrow. So he's like, you probably are going into labor, but if you're not feeling contractions or like anything like that, you don't have to go to the hospital. It doesn't hurt to go, like, you know, if you're worried, it doesn't hurt to go check it out. I would probably go check it out if you want to. So I'm just like super anxious, and I was like, I'm going to the hospital. I don't care. So I went. Oh, vlog. Here we are on our way to the hospital. And here we go. Boom. And I wasn't in labor. I was only like 2.5 or 3 centimeters dilated now. So I did dilate a little more, but I wasn't in labor. And then, so everything's fine. They're about to like, I'm about to go home. They're like, yeah, we're gonna send you home. I'm like, whatever. But then, so when they check you, when you're in triage, when you wait for them to check if you're in labor or not, they usually put a monitor on you and a monitor on your stomach to monitor the baby's heartbeat and your heartbeat, and all that stuff. So as they're about to discharge me from the hospital, Luna's heart rate dropped really low out of nowhere. So all of a sudden, they're like, everybody just like stops and they're like just staring at the monitor, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm having a panic attack, and they're like, okay, her heartbeat just once they said that, I'm going crazy in there. And then they're like, no, but don't worry, like, it's back up and it seems fine, but let me just check our charts, because usually when that happens, we have to induce you just because it's safer for the baby to be out than in. So I'm like, okay. I secretly I'm hoping they induce me, because one, that scared me. Like, I agree, I think it's safer for the baby out than in, especially at almost 40 weeks already. And also, I just, again, was over my pregnancy already. So yeah, they go check the charts. They're like, okay, if it's up to us, we're gonna keep you here, but we're just gonna call your doctor first and make sure, because, you know, ultimately it's his decision. They call him, he says, yeah, induce her. So all that happens. 5 minutes later, they're walking me to my room, and they were kind of just asking me how I wanted to be induced. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, so I tell them I'm not a doctor, you know, whatever you guys think is best. So they decided to use this method I had actually never heard of. It's called like a water bag. Basically, that's what it is. It's like a water bag. They insert it into your cervix and then fill it up with water. So it's like a balloon. Fills up with water, and that helps you naturally dilate. They did that. They were basically, once your cervix dilates to the size of the water bag, you know, or bigger, the water bag will fall out, and that's how they know that it worked. So this was all. I went to the hospital, I'm not even saying times, I went to the hospital about 11 p.m. So it was about 12 or 1 when they did that whole water bag thing. And at about 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning maybe, the water bag fell out. So at that point, everyone comes in, yay, it worked. Throughout this time, I went into the hospital saying I don't want epidural. I didn't want it. I had heard a lot of women saying that it made their back hurt, like they were stuck with permanent back pains from epidural, or just horror stories, which you shouldn't listen to, but I'm super anxious again, so I'm like, oh my god, I don't want epidural. I ended up doing it though. I know a lot of people who also said they didn't want an epidural and ended up doing it, because those contractions, wow. So yeah, I got an epidural maybe sometime throughout the night, like kind of in the middle. After a while, I was like, I can't take this anymore. So they gave me the epidural, you know, that whole, I had to sign a bunch of paperwork and stuff saying I consented to the epidural. It didn't hurt that bad. It was a weird sensation. It was like a cool throughout my body, my lower body, and then just went numb. Like, it was kind of weird, in my opinion. I immediately reacted really badly to the epidural. My blood pressure dropped, so I got really sick. I started throwing up, like getting faint. I kind of like was in and out for a few minutes, and then eventually I was just drinking water, and I was fine-ish. I still, the whole time, basically my whole labor, I was kind of out of it the whole time. So that happened, like I said, about around 5 a.m. water bag fell out. And then at this point, they come and they check me. I was then about 4 centimeters dilated. I was 4 centimeters dilated for basically over 12 hours, 12, 13. I was really going through it. Look who made a guest appearance in our video. Hey, mama. Say hi, YouTube. Oh my gosh, should we make a thumbnail? So the rest of the video will be with her in my arms. I just think I look cuter with holding her. I was at 4 centimeters dilated for a really long time. So the whole time they're like, okay, so now to get you the rest of the way, do you want us to give you Pitocin or do you want us to break your water? Again, I'm like, I think you guys know better than me. I'm no doctor. Do what you want. So they were like, okay, we're gonna try to give you the Pitocin first. They give me the Pitocin at like, I guess a low to medium level. I'm not sure how the dosage works. I know it wasn't like the highest. So then they came like an hour later. They were kind of checking me at every hour. I was still at 4. They came another hour. I was still at 4. Every time they came, they kind of upped the dosage by 1. I'm not sure 1 of what. Again, I'm not a doctor. But they kept saying, bring it up, bring it up. And every time they came in, I was still at 4. After like 2-3 hours, so like 2 or 3 like times that they checked me, they basically were like, we're gonna try to break your water and give you the Pitocin because clearly the Pitocin alone is not doing anything. What's wrong? You tired? You tired? Basically, they broke my water and gave me Pitocin. At this point, then like an hour or 2 after that, I'm still at 4. My doctor, my OBGYN, who was gonna be the one to deliver this beautiful girl right here, shows up and he's like, give her the max. Whatever the max is, just do that. I'm not sure again. So they give me the max amount. And hour goes by, still nothing. So then he says some like, I basically like to double it. So they double it. And then an hour later, I'm at 7. So I'm like, oh my God, thank you. It's now like 5-6 p.m. It's like 5 p.m. And it was around 4 that I was at 3. So now it's like 5 p.m. I'm at 7. So they're like, okay, well, if things keep going as they are, probably in the next hour or so, you'll be ready to push. So now the nerves are kicking in. I'm like, oh my God, this is a... Bless you, mama. So pretty. So I'm like, I'm about to push this baby out. I knew she was gonna be heavy. So I'm like, how is she gonna fit out of me? I'm like 4'11", 5 feet. So I'm scared. At this point also, my epidural is starting to wear off. And they give you a little button clicker and you just click it whenever you feel it starting to wear off a little. And it'll give you a little mini dosage. And I had already been giving myself a few of those and it was starting, like I would press it and it would still be the same. So I call my nurse and I'm like, someone needs to come in here because I'm gonna push soon and I'm not feeling this epidural. And I'm pressing the button. They tell you not to press it more than once every like 10 minutes or something. So I'm literally like clocking the 10 minutes as to where before it was like every hour that I was pressing it. Now it's like every 10 minutes on the dot I'm pressing it and it's not doing anything. So they come and the anesthesiologist, I hope I said that right, he gives me something else which is supposed to be stronger than epidural. I'm not sure what it was called, but he just gives me something which is supposed to be, I guess, like a double dosage of what epidural would be. That's what that was. He gave me that. My blood pressure dropped again really low. I threw up a little bit again, I think, maybe, I'm not sure. I just know that I was not feeling good. I'm just waiting. I'm like, I just need to wait. I need to get to 10. I need to push this baby out because I can't do this epidural anymore. I'm not liking it. I feel sick. Hello, vlog. She was 8 centimeters and now she's 9 centimeters. Yeah. Let's conduct a little interview. Hey, mamas. How you feeling?
You look pretty.
You look so pretty. Some nice words for Luna. Just something real quick. Mommy loves you. This is all for you. Look at her.
Daddy loves you too.
And Daddy loves you too. An hour passes. Now it's like 6 something. And then I get to 8. No, by 6 something I had already gotten to 9. So they're already prepping me to start pushing because they're like probably in the next 20 or so minutes you're gonna get to 10. At this point, whatever they gave me then, that was even stronger than epidural. It was not. I was starting to feel the pain again. So this is also wearing off. I'm trying to give myself more. It's wearing off. And then after a while, I didn't want to give myself any more because I'm like, I want to, I feel like if I'm too numb, I'm not going to feel that I'm pushing. Like, how am I going to push if I can't feel my lower body? Like, that's my thoughts, at least. I'm getting ready to push. Chris is so nervous. Chris is my boyfriend, Luna's dad. He's so nervous. He kept like walking in and out of the room and we're like, can you wait? Because I don't want you to miss it. And he's like, I need to breathe. So that's going on. At this point, I'm not feeling anything. I'm feeling full on the contractions. I had to push so bad. Like I had such a bad urge to push, and the nurses, everyone's like, don't push. And they're like, no matter how bad you want to push, don't push. And I'm like, I need to push. So basically I'm like, someone get the doctor in here. Someone check me again. They're like, we just checked you. And I'm like, well, check me again because I need to push right now. Like someone needs to be checking me every 5 minutes because as soon as I hit 10, I need to push. So basically they get the doctor in again. Surprise, I am at 10. So basically at this point he's like, I'm gonna go scrub in. The nurse was already like in her scrubs or whatever. So I started pushing with her while he did, whatever he had to do. So I start pushing with her. I'm pushing. Half an hour goes by, I'm still pushing. An hour goes by, I'm still pushing. I'm screaming. At this point, I was losing oxygen. So I had like an oxygen mask that I had to put on between pushes. Chris is holding one of my legs, my sister's holding my other leg, my mom is just over me having a panic attack. We're all just there. And I'm pushing. Hour and a half goes by, I'm still pushing. So yes, I pushed for 2 hours. At this point, I'm done. I can't breathe. Every time I push, also, her heart rate would drop. So at this point, I'm getting nervous, but they're telling me everything's fine. They're like, yeah, it's just, babies sometimes get stressed out as they're being delivered. So they give me a break. Also, my epidural I mentioned was starting to wear off. By half an hour of me pushing, it was gone. I was feeling everything. I had no epidural. Like I felt everything. The hour break, they gave me more. It didn't do anything, but I just told them that it did because I'm like at this point, the whole hour break, I was like sleeping, but it was really me with my eyes closed, like clenching my jaw because the contractions were like non-stop, back to back to back to back to back to back to back. They come back in after an hour and they're like, okay, let's go again. This time I only pushed for like maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then my doctor's like, they're yeah. Hey, mama. The doctor's like, there has to be something wrong here because, you've been pushing for way too long. So he like is basically elbow deep in me. And he's like checking me out. He goes, wait a second, let me get another doctor. So he gets another doctor. She checks me. They're like, oh yeah, no, you're too narrow. She's not gonna fit through there. After 2.5 hours or 3 hours of pushing, you need a C-section. So at this point, I completely lost it. Like I was bawling. I was shaking. I was having a full-on panic attack. Like, I'm like, no, like, I was just so scared of, like, being cut open. You know, I didn't want to have that scar there. I was scared, like, you know, things happen. It's a major surgery. I'd never had, so I've never even been in the hospital before for myself before, you know, labor. So I was really scared. So I'm like, okay, let's go. Crying though, and my mom starts hysterically crying, and even my sister cried, and my sister never cries. So my sister's crying, we're all crying. Chris is just staring at the floor like in shock. So they scrubbed Chris in to come into the room with me to have my C-section. They gave me something to basically completely numb me from like here down, like chest down. So they gave me that was like epidural times 10. My blood pressure dropped. I was just throwing up. They gave me something for like my stomach so that I won't get nauseous. I threw that, like, as soon as they gave that to me, I threw it back up. They're putting more IVs in me for fluid, iron, a bunch of stuff to prep me. They shave you. I wasn't shaved. I shouldn't have said that. Anyways, so prepping me, I get my C-section. Once they start kind of like cutting open, I don't know, I wasn't really watching, but once I feel like movement down there, I start to feel, first I felt the movement and I'm like, I shouldn't be feeling movement because I'm pretty sure I should be numb, but whatever. Then a few minutes pass by and I start feeling a little pinch, like not a pinch, but uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if this is supposed to feel like this. I thought you were supposed to be completely numb, but whatever. A few minutes pass by, then I start feeling like a little pinch, and it turns to like a little pain, and I start screaming. So then I'm like, hold up, you guys need to stop what you're doing right now. I feel this, and I know I'm not supposed to feel this. So somebody give me something else, because clearly my body is just not taking this stuff. So they give me an extra dosage. At this point, basically throughout the whole C-section, I still felt something, which I know I shouldn't have, but I did. I don't know what's up with my body and just not taking these like body numbers, but it just wasn't going through. But it was enough that I could manage it. I just, if it got worse, I would have said something, but it kind of stayed at a pace that it didn't bother me too much. It was just really uncomfortable because I kind of felt like every like cut and like every tug. And then that is how this beautiful human being came into my life on February 5th at 8:16 p.m. She was 7 pounds, 13 ounces. She was 20 inches long, and yeah, and this is her now. She's 2 months. She's 12 pounds now. I'm sure you can tell that she's 12 pounds. Don't mind her hair. I brushed it, but she took a nap. And that was basically it. My overall labor was about almost 24 hours. It was long, 21, 22 hours. It was horrible, traumatic. I still, like, most of it was I was in and out of it, like kind of blacking out. But I would do it a million times over and over again for my princess. It was worth it. And I guess that's all for this video. Now I'm just gonna insert some clips of basically my days in the hospital. And you know, I had to stay a bit longer because I was C-section. So instead of 2 days, 2 nights, I had to stay 3. A lot of painkillers. They had to keep diagnosing me different like stuff because it just wasn't doing it for me, and it was a lot of pain after. Chill pill, please. Thank you. And yeah, so that's the end of this video. I'm just gonna insert those clips. Please like and subscribe. That's all. Thank you for watching. Bye. Say bye, mama. Bye. Hello vlog. Here we are. What time is it? February 6th, 1:13. So here we are. Grandma, Daddy, and baby girl.
Mommy, how are you feeling? Tired. But we're happy. So, here you are. Baby Loonies. Mommy's looking beautiful as ever. We're all very excited and very blessed. And yeah, newest addition to our family.
In her car seat, waiting to go home. It's approximately 2 o'clock p.m. Should be home in like 20 minutes. I wish I would have bought some balloons.